Hello, I'm Owen Bardini, he/they, the Computer Games Promotion and Marketing Assistant at Manchester Met University. Do you want to introduce yourself with your name and maybe what course you're studying?
Yeah, I'm Timothy, and I'm studying the Masters in Computer Games Development of
Can you
MMU.
tell us about the game you developed, any concepts, inspirations, or the story behind the project?
Oh yeah, the game that we're developing is called Vextorial. It's primarily a puzzle game that's about being able to play as a 2D creature within a 3D space. So the multi-dimensional puzzles with a branching single-player path. Apart from that, there's like the humorous dialogues with a very thought-provoking story for the player to go through, which keeps the game very engaging. The idea is being able to switch between in 2D mode and in 3D mode, where in 2D mode you can touch edges to change gravity, while in 3D mode you can cross to different planes, causing a very interesting interaction with other more traditional puzzle game mechanics, such as switches, gravity switches, and movable blocks. So in order to be able to get from one point to the other, utilizing these mechanics can create some really interesting ways to challenge players. And this original concept came from a very simple mechanical uh, experiment. So when I was doing the games programming units in the first semester of my master's course, I was given the opportunity to try out something new with a Unity project as well as an Unreal project. And I decided to come up a very interesting and unique concept, which is being able to change gravity around and switch planes within a cube. And ultimately, that design came into a conclusion that it could be very interesting to be utilized in level designs, because just by having these mechanisms alone, you can travel to anywhere you want. And so we built on top of that. We realized that there is this really interesting program called Transfuser that could help us be our first step into getting into the indie game industry. So therefore, we developed a team based on just by selling this concept to other students within the MMU and getting a whole team together to develop something really cool.
How many people were on your team and what did your role entail?
So there are 6 people in our team, and my role is being the project manager. And I also, because I am primarily strong in design and programming, therefore most of the Unity stuff are done by me. Whilst a lot of my members would be helping me on bits in some programming tasks and also arts
What's the most
jobs.
challenging part of the development process and how did you overcome these issues?
So the most challenging part that we went through was because we're trying to do a very niche mechanical idea, and by doing so, we had to come up with a lot of hot fixes for collision issues. For example, when a character switches between planes, there might be some like for example, it might be able to clip through blocks on the other plane by not being able to detect them. So we have to try and figure out ways to wrap around ideas to make sure that those things work. For the development process, we went to a lot of challenges in terms of how we can able to set up the company in the right way, and also basically filling a bunch of forms and business structures, understanding where we're getting our company to and how we're able to shoot for our commercial presence in public. So those things are quite hard to deal with. But after we got like the lessons coming from the transducer program, as well as the support coming from MMU tutors such as Matthew, Alex, who are really constantly helping us in the local hub, we got a lot of the information that we need in order to solve those challenges.
Did you handle time management and deadlines throughout the project and were there any strategies that worked particularly well?
So in order to tackle our challenges, usually we're just utilizing the help of coming from the Jira program, assigning our tasks in story points and making sure that we know what our main goal is, and then subdividing those tasks into even smaller tasks that we can all take and have the right amount of contribution within the team. This period is basically have like basically we make a framework at the start to know what we are trying to get to for each month, and then we reevaluate our effort at the
Did you learn
end.
any new skills whilst working on this project?
I think the most skills that I learned from this project, apart from programming, because programming is something I'm always learning from my game project production, anyways, is that being able to manage a whole team of different people. Our team, Vest Games, is a team coming from a very vast variety of ethnicities, as well as different educational background, such as we have people coming from Nigeria, we have people coming from the UK, and like for example, us, we're coming from Hong Kong. All of us have very different perspectives into different things, but we were pretty much able to get all of these ideas together because we're unified by our love in making as well as solving puzzles, which is why we make a really great team. Being able to organize the team, even though we have all of these different perspectives, is really nice because all the way back then, I wouldn't have thought of myself being having a personality that can fulfill the role of a leader much because I'm pretty much an introvert. But then after going through all of these, I have really gained the skill to manage all of the people around me and also know how to utilize all of our talents into making the best products.
What are you most proud of in your game and why?
I'm the most proud of the concepts and the inspirations that our game can provide. So because our game is a puzzle game, and I'm a really big fan of a lot of indie games that are in the puzzle category. So for example, Baba Is You, Patrick Parabox, those games have really that strong niche going into the market, and people recognize them because they can understand the niche in a very quick, easy to understand way. And then afterwards, you can explore the depths of how you can utilize those mechanics in different ways to solve different puzzles within the game. Our game Vextorial is able to deliver similar because our niche is being able to just use a simple click to change between 2D and 3D mode, which grants the player different unique abilities. And afterwards, it's just about how much we can provide with these new mechanics that most players haven't experienced before into different level design challenges. And it was really nice that we figured out that these mechanics are able to create a lot of new and original level ideas that you can't get from other puzzle games, which is why I feel like the uniqueness of our game is the strongest point of our projects.
Would you give to other students or recent graduates who are just starting their game development projects?
If you're trying to develop your own like your own indie game projects like us, then you definitely have to always put the most time that you need in terms of the design part. So I realized like in a lot of units where we're taught to try and develop like in a game jam setting or in like rapid games prototyping units, a lot of students try to take a very brief look at the topic and go for the most straightforward solution immediately. If you're aiming for trying to make something new and in like an indie game format, you really have to think out of the box. For example, in my case, I would usually spend around 1 to 2 days just for the design of the game to make sure that I have a really interesting mechanic going on or a really interesting narrative of the game going on. And then after I know like the whole direction of the game, I put those pieces together, and I start developing by finding out what resources do I need, and what new skills that I have to learn, and really have that uh like don't be scared of learning. Basically, whenever you need and to acquire a new skill to achieve something that you want to present, then just go for it, and most of the time it will go well.
That's all the questions we have for you today. So thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.